Hi and welcome to Rebecca's Finance Tutorials. I'm Rebecca and it's lovely to meet you. So whether that's for the first time or you're back again, welcome. Now, this is video 3, as I said, for the Principles of Bookkeeping Controls series. And today I'm answering some of your questions that you sent me from the community. So all about this unit. So let's just get into it. Now, the first question is, what's actually the difference between a control account and an individual ledger account? So an individual ledger account is like one specific customer's account. So it shows the detail, it shows every invoice, every payment for that one customer alone. The control account is the summary version. So it shows the total movement across every single customer combined. So think of the control account as like the headline figure. So when we say that, we mean, we're talking about the summary figure, and the individual accounts are the detail that are behind it. So if you add all of those up, then you get back to what's in the control account. And the whole point of this unit is essentially proving those two things agree with each other. So I hope that helps. Second question, why does my control account never seem to match the total of the individual balances? Okay, honestly, in the real exam, that's sort of the point. You're being tested on finding out why. So it's almost never a coincidence. It's one specific thing usually. So a transaction that's been posted to the control account total but not updated on the individual's account, or a balance that's left off the list entirely, or a list that simply has been added up wrong. So I would say best thing you can do in this unit is go through methodically. So check each individual balance against the source documents rather than guessing. Okay, number 3, what's the actual difference between an error of commission and an error of principal? So we need to get these nailed down for the exam because they do come up. So an error of commission means that you've posted to the wrong account, but to the right category. So always go back to the customer example here. You've charged one customer instead of another. Both are still receivables accounts. You've just picked the wrong customer. But an error of principal is more serious. So you've posted to the entirely wrong type of account. So again, going back to the example of treating something that should have been an asset as an expense. So commission is the wrong name within the right group. Principal is the wrong group entirely. So I hope that helps. Let me know in the comment section. Fourth question, do all errors need a suspense account? No. And that probably catches a lot of people out. So a suspense account is only needed when your trial balance doesn't balance and you can't immediately tell why. So errors of omission, commission, principal, original entry, compensating errors, and reversal of entries, all of these leave the TB balanced, so none of them need a suspense account. You just correct them directly with a journal between the two corrected accounts. It's only when there's a genuine imbalance, so like a single entry or unequal amounts or an addition error. So that's where the suspense account comes into play. Okay, fifth question. What's the actual difference between an unpresented cheque and an outstanding lodgement? If you didn't hear that, by the way, that was an outstanding lodgement. An unpresented cheque is money that's going out. So you've paid a supplier and you've recorded it in your cash book, but they haven't yet paid that cheque into their bank. So it hasn't hit your statement. Now, an outstanding lodgement is money coming into us. So we're going to lodge it in, if that helps you remember at all. So you've received money and you've paid it into the bank, you've recorded it on your cash book, but the bank hasn't processed it and shown it on the statement yet. So it's like the same idea, but opposite direction. And this can happen, by the way, if you go to the bank on a Friday and they don't cash that out until Monday. So it used to happen a lot in the olden days, but when I first started. So not so much anymore, but you still need to understand it in the exam. But before we move on, quick pause, because again, I always want to do this. I always want to mention that I want to invite you properly onto my Pody community because it is completely free to sign up and it is linked in the description section below this video, and it's exactly where these questions came from. So come and join us and get access to the free resources that I've built for this unit whilst you're there. Now, sixth question. In a bank reconciliation, why do some things get adjusted in the cash book and others get adjusted on the bank statement? Okay, the rule is really simple here. If it's something that the business didn't know about yet, like a bank charge, interest, or a direct debit, that goes into the cash book, because the cash book needs updating to reflect reality. So if it's something the business already knows about and has recorded, but the bank hasn't processed it yet, these are things like your unpresented cheques, your outstanding lodgements. That adjusts the bank statement side of your reconciliation, not the cash book, because we've already recorded it. So get that split right, and I promise you the whole task becomes far more logical. Now, seventh question. How do I actually know which account to debit and which to credit when I'm correcting an error? Okay, go back to first principles. So if you're ever unsure of bookkeeping and accounting, it doesn't matter what exam you're doing, doesn't matter if you're doing your chartership, it does not matter. Strip it back to basics. So ask what should have happened originally, then work out what happened, and then the journal is simply the difference between the two. So if a transaction was left out completely, the journal is exactly what should have been posted in the first place. If it went to the wrong account, you're reversing it out of that wrong account and posting it into the right one. So I hope that helps. If not, let me know in the comment section. Eighth question, what happens to the suspense account once every error has been found? Really simple, it clears to zero. Every entry that you post out of the suspense account, correcting it as you go, should bring the balance down so there's nothing left. So if you found every single error correctly and it doesn't clear to zero, that's actually a really useful check that you've missed something in the exam. So yeah, make sure that that suspense account clears down to zero by the end. Ninth question, is a TB the same thing as a full set of final accounts? No. And it's an easy mix-up. So a trial balance, or a TB, is simply a list of every ledger balance split into debits and credits, and it's used as a check that the book's balance and a stepping stone towards the final accounts. But it isn't the profit and loss account or the balance sheet itself, and it's not the notes to the final accounts either, so no. Hope that helps. And I can go into more detail around that if need be at any point. So again, pop your questions in the comment section or pop them in Podia. Absolutely fine. 10th question, what's a compensating error and how would I even spot one? So a compensating error is two separate mistakes that happen to cancel each other out. So the TB will look like it balances even though those two different accounts are wrong. So I would say of all of the errors that you come across, they're generally the hardest to spot because nothing looks broken, and they usually only come to light when you're checking individual accounts against source documents for another reason entirely. So thoroughness is really your only reference here in terms of your defense and your approach. So sorry that I can't give a better answer to that one. 11th question, any tips for managing time in this exam specifically? Yes, task 1 is almost always a control account. So make sure that that's second nature before you go in. That's going to save you time. And that's going to set the tone for the rest of the paper for you. The reconciliation and error correction tasks tend to take longer than they look because you're investigating as much as calculating. So don't panic if they take a bit more time than the more straightforward tasks. And whatever you do in any exam, that you do from now on out is attempt every task. A control account or a journal that's half right still picks up marks, but a blank error, a blank answer even never does. So just attempt it, even if you don't have any idea what's going on. And genuinely, I've had exam sittings where I've gone, what are you asking me? So just attempt it, and I promise you, you'll pick up marks. So those were some brilliant questions, so thank you for sending them in. And if you've got more, as I say, drop them into the community. And if you're not part of the community, there's a link below and I will pick them up for a future video. So thanks for joining me, and I will catch you at the next one.